friends, Ms. Cassie here with Solon Public Library's Digital Storytime. This week, we are going to talk about ASL, or American Sign Language, which is where all of our alphabet letters that we've been doing with our theme song come from. But first, we need to sing our welcome song, and we need to get our clapping hands ready. So we're gonna wiggle our fingers and shake our hands and rub them together really fast, really fast, really fast, and put them on our knees. Okay, here we go. If you wanna read a book, clap your hands. If you wanna read a book, clap your hands. If you wanna read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you wanna read a book, clap your hands. What do we do after we clap our hands? That's right, we stomp our feet. If you wanna read a book, stomp your feet. If you wanna read a book, stomp your feet. If you wanna read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you wanna read a book, stomp your feet. What do we do after we stomp our feet? That's right, we twirl around. If you wanna read a book, twirl around. If you wanna read a book, twirl around. If you wanna read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you wanna read a book, twirl around. All right, for our last verse, we're gonna be as quiet as we can. And we're gonna whisper, hooray. If you wanna read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. If you wanna read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. If you wanna read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you wanna read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. Our theme song this month is ABCZYX. And so we're gonna do our letter signs. If you want a refresher on how to do the letter signs, you can watch last week's video, just the beginning part. We walk through all of the shapes. But I am gonna remind you about some of the other signs that we're gonna use in this song. So we have no, we have sing, like you're conducting an orchestra. We have backwards, like we have little feet walking backwards. And we have surprised, which we do at the end. We say, bet that's not what you expected, but we sign, are you surprised? Okay, here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Now let's sing them backwards on 3. 1, 2, 3. Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T. S, R, Q, Q, P. O, N, M, L, K, J, I, H, and G, F, E, D, C, B, and A. Whew. Now I've sung my ZYXs. Bet that's not what you expected. Yay! Did you get all the letters with the backwards ABCs? I'm still working on those too, but I think by the end of the month, we'll get it all just perfect. Our first book today is called Hands and Hearts. And it's written by Donna Jo Napoli and illustrated by Amy Bates. Now, so in this book, we have a story, and then we also have some of the words that we're going to learn the signs for in ASL, or American Sign Language. And the fun thing is, sometimes in the pictures of the book, you can also see the characters doing these signs in the pictures, which is really cool. So here we go. My small hands, and you can see the sign for hands. Pull your big hands, tug and lug till you're on your feet. Yak, yak hands, yak, yak fingers, telling as we run down the garden, or run out the gate, down the path. Run. Funny hands, oh, we know that one, hands. Funny fingers, flutter on the flowers, point at the gulls. And flowers, eyes like this across the mouth, flowers. Now, some of these signs might be different from other signs. If you know sign language already, some of these signs might be different because there are lots of variations in American Sign Language, just like in English, right? We use different words for different things. Some people say supper, some people say dinner, right? That's just one example. But these are the signs that we're learning in this book. Take my hands and dance me dizzy. I like dance because it looks like a little person dancing on a dance floor. And dance me dizzy, swing me around, fly me to the dunes. Do you know what dunes are? Dunes are like big mountains of sand. And so sometimes you'll see dunes in deserts or by the ocean, which is where this book is happening. They've got big sand dunes by the ocean. Flapping to the beach, hello to the waves, spraying and splashing, shoes left behind. Take my arms and hold on tight, roll me in the sand, dip me in the sea. Oh, that looks fun, doesn't it? Let go hands, let go fingers, swim and glide and reach for the raft. The swimming one looks like you're swimming in the ocean too, doesn't it? That's fun when some of the signs you go, oh, I know that action. I know what that means. Dig a tunnel, dig a moat, dump in water, fill it full. And look, water is the letter W. We know that from our ABC song. And then you tap your chin, water. And that's a great way. Oh, and you can see in the picture, look, the mom is doing the sign for water. Water, she's got the W at her chin. And that's a great thing. If you and your parent or your caregiver know this sign, that's a great way to ask for a drink of water. Maybe when it's loud and so you can't hear each other, or you're far away. You do have to make sure you can still see each other though, right? So that you can do the sign for water. Build a tower, shape a wall, press on shells and make it shine. And look, there's the little girl doing the sign for wall. They're talking about what they're gonna build, right? And so she's saying, hey, let's build a wall for our sandcastle. Bury our toes, bury our knees, leaning lazy, small or tall. Those ones are good, are really visual too, right? Small, tall. That makes sense. Make a tent to hide from the sun, a spot to rest and cuddle cozy. So this is the sign in the book for sun. We've learned a different sign for sun. When we talked about outer space, we learned this one, right? Where it's like the sun's rays shining on you. And this one is like the sun is out and maybe you're kind of shielding your eyes from the sun because it's so bright. And you can see the little girl in the picture. She's doing that. Yeah. Hands to hold, hands to play, hands to yak. Do you know what yak means? They've said it a couple of times in this book. Yak is like to talk. Yak, yak, yak. And kiss tips as we laugh. Laugh, laugh. Watch the day come to a close. Sunset, ooh, this one's fun. So your arm is like the land, and then your hand is the sun setting. Sunset, sunset, glowing rosy. And look, you can see they're doing, it's the F shape, right? We know that from the alphabet. And you can see in the picture they're holding up their hands. They're at the beginning of the sunset sign, right in the picture. Wave to the white caps. White caps are waves. Wave to the gulls. Bye-bye. So in American Sign Language, instead of waving like this bye, you wave like this. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Home we go. The end. Did you learn some new signs in this book? Yeah, I did too. What was your favorite sign? I think mine was sunset. It feels very dramatic, and I like that. Next, we have a very special guest, my friend, Miss Jennifer. And Miss Jennifer is hard of hearing, and so she wears a hearing aid, and she's gonna show us what that looks like. And she also uses ASL to communicate, especially with her friends who are also hard of hearing or who are deaf. Welcome, Miss Jennifer.
Thank you for having me. So one of the cool things about sign language is when you clap, you hear it. But for people who know sign language or can't hear, this is their clap. It's yay, good job.
Yeah, we actually do that a lot in Storytime. After we sing songs, we go, yay, just like that.
No sign language. And one of the interesting thing is I'm hard of hearing, which means I have to wear this hearing aid and I put it in my ear like this.
Miss Jennifer, hearing aids are kind of like glasses for your ears, right?
Yes, I like that a lot. Yes. One of my favorite signs has to do with books. It's just two hands and you open it like a book. And then let's see, if you get hungry, there's milk, eat, because you have to put stuff in your mouth. And then all done, more. And that's pretty good.
Those are some great signs. So Miss Jennifer, can you talk a little bit about the different kinds of people that will use American Sign Language to communicate?
That's a very good question. I will. So there's what's called interpreters, which are typically people like yourself who are hearing or have very little hearing problems. And they get hired, so people who are deaf, they can participate, they can watch the interpretation and understand what's going on with the meeting or reading a book.
So that's a kind of job that people have, is to be an interpreter. That's very cool. And what other groups, can you talk to me a little bit about people like yourself who are hard of hearing or people who are deaf and how they use American Sign Language to communicate?
So yeah, so I mainly talk, but I do sign language when I'm with friends, or I use it at my work when I'm teaching the children I watch, I teach them sign language, even though they're not like me. And it's great because I can be across the room and they can tell me if they need the bathroom, and I can call them over and we can let them, work on potty training or something like that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love that American Sign Language can be a useful tool for all kinds of people. And so importantly, it helps people who don't speak and who can't hear with their ears also communicate. So what a wonderful tool for everybody. I love American Sign Language, and I think that everybody should learn some signs. Is there anything else that you want to share with us, Miss Jennifer, about American Sign Language, or people who are hard of hearing or deaf, things that you wish that everybody knew?
If everybody knew that it's okay when people ask, what? A lot of people, they don't like that question, but when they remember what can mean, I didn't hear that. And that just asks them nicely, can you please say that again? What? And I wish people understood how nice the word what is.
Ooh, I like that. We did a whole story time about different kinds of questions, and what was one of the question words that we talked about. Well, that's wonderful, Miss Jennifer. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate learning some new signs with you, like book and read, milk, and more. We really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sharing with us today.
You're welcome. This was fun.
Yay! Wasn't that so great to have Miss Jennifer join us and teach us some new signs? We're learning so many new words today. And we're gonna learn a couple more. So we're gonna sing the song, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And we are going to learn a couple of the signs in this song. So we're using ASL signs, but this is really kind of PSE, or Pigeon Signed English, because we're not going to use all of the ASL grammar. We're just going to do some of the words as they line up as we speak them. Does that make sense? It's a little complicated, but I think we can do it. So here we go. So we're going to do twinkle. It's just like this. And then star, it's like we're going to point to stars in the sky. And then we're going to wonder what the star is. We're going to wonder what you are. And then up above, so up above, the world, so high. Like a diamond, we're gonna make a D shape, we know that, and we're gonna tap our ring finger. Look, I have a diamond on that finger. Diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. You got it? Okay, we'll do it together and we'll do it slowly. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. How'd you do? Did you get it all? Let's do it one more time together. Ready? Get your twinklers ready. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Yay! Great job, friends. Our last book today is called Using Hearing Aids, and it's written by Harriet Brundle. And this book is part of a whole series of books called Body Helpers. And there's one about glasses, and there's one about an inhaler for people who have asthma. There's one about artificial limbs for people who maybe have an artificial leg or hand or arm. There's all kinds of cool books in this series. So if you want to learn more about body helpers, you should check them out at the library. But I thought it would be great to read this one about hearing aids because Miss Jennifer showed us her hearing aid, and that's what helps her hear. So let's learn more about how those work. Your ears. Can you show me your ears? Where are your ears? Yeah, there you go. Most people have two. Some people have one. But here are our ears. What do? We use our ears to hear sounds around us. Our ears send this information to our brains. And our ears are made up of 3 parts, or in ASL, 3 parts. The outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. We have an ear on each side of our heads. This makes it easier for our brains to know where a sound is coming from. Having 2 ears helps us hear sounds on both sides of us, right? And in front, and even a little bit in back. And our ears also help us with our balance. Did you know that? That's why, like, when you go on a tire swing and you spin all around and then you get off and you're all dizzy, that's because your inner ear is all mixed up and it takes a little while for it to level back out again. So hearing aids are small devices that help us hear more clearly. Hearing aids fit around our ears, or inside our ears, and they're powered with batteries, just like flashlights or watches. There's all kinds of different batteries, and hearing aids use batteries. There are some different types of hearing aids. Behind the ear hearing aids have a small plastic device that sits around the top of your ear and behind it. That's like the kind that Miss Jennifer showed us. And then there's a part that's attached to a wire that has a small plastic piece at the end that fits into your ear. In the ear hearing aids are less visible. That means you can't see them as well. Less visible than behind the ear hearing aids because they fit straight into your ear and don't have that extra piece that goes around. These ones look kind of like my earbuds that I have. You might have noticed I was wearing one of those when I was talking to Miss Jennifer so that she could hear me more clearly and I could hear her more clearly with my earbud. Now, children, so maybe some of you, usually start with a behind the ear hearing aid. However, each type of hearing aid is different and some might help you better than others. So here you can see in the picture, we have an audiologist ear. That's a big word, audiologist. It's a special kind of doctor that helps you with your hearing. So, why might I need hearing aids, or you, or a friend, or a relative? Why do people need hearing aids? So sometimes you might notice that you can't hear as clearly as you would like. You might not be able to hear when someone is speaking to you, or have a hard time watching TV. You can't hear everything that's happening. Maybe you only hear the louder sounds, but not the softer sounds. And there might be lots of reasons why you might need some extra help to hear. It could be that part of your ear isn't working the way that it should be, or it could be because you've gotten sick and it's damaged a part of your ear. So hearing aids pick up sounds through a small microphone, like the microphone on your phone, or if you have a karaoke set at home, the microphone that you hold that you sing into. So it's like that, but it's very small. And then the sounds are sent through an amplifier. To amplify something means to make it bigger. So the microphone takes the sounds and it makes them louder. The sounds are sent into your ear with a speaker, again, like on your phone or on your TV. And the different parts of the hearing aid work together to make the sounds around you as clear as possible. So if your audiologist decides that you need hearing aids, then this is what that might look like. So the first step is to go see the audiologist, the special ear doctor, the hearing doctor. And they will have a look in your ears or do some other tests to see how well you can hear. Maybe you've done these before. You put on these headphones and they have these little sounds, little tones where it's like beep, beep, and you have to tell them which side you're hearing the sound on. And then your doctor might send you to see the audiologist. Oh, I'm sorry. So you start with your regular doctor and then they might refer you to an audiologist. And then the audiologist might do some more checks on your hearing and might decide that you need a hearing aid for one of your ears or both of your ears. If the audiologist decides that you need hearing aids, they will take impressions of your ear. Do you know what impressions means? Have you ever taken some Play-Doh and then pushed something into it like a rock or a leaf or a dinosaur foot from a plastic dinosaur? Those are all, and then you take it out and you can still see the shape in your Play-Doh. That's an impression. So that's what the doctor does, but with your ear, so that the hearing aid is just the right shape for your ear. Then they send the impressions away and they're made into hearing aids just for you. Once they're ready, you go back to the audiologist to fit them and make sure it's a good fit. It might take some time to get used to your hearing aids, and the audiologist might suggest you wear them for a short time to start with, and then build up to wearing them longer each day, because it's something new, right? And your body has to get used to this new information. Just like if you've ever gotten glasses, sometimes it takes a little while to get used to them. Sometimes you have to get used to not being able to see out of the sides as well as maybe you could before. And you also have to get used to being able to see things better. Sometimes your eyes get tired. And just like that with hearing aids, sometimes your ears get tired too. For the first few days after you've had your hearing aid, they might feel a little strange. But don't worry, after a while you'll become used to the feeling of wearing your hearing aids. So if you have hearing aids, or if you have a friend who has hearing aids, here are some ways that you can help take care of them. So you want to keep them in a safe case when you're not wearing them so they don't get damaged or lost. You want to make sure to keep your hearing aids clean by cleaning them every day, and the audiologist will teach you how to do that. You don't want your hearing aids to get wet. Just like you don't want to drop a phone in a bathtub, you don't want to drop your hearing aids in the bathtub either. So you have to remember to take them out before you get in the shower or bath. And you don't want to forget, you want to check your hearing aids each day to make sure they're still working. Once you start wearing hearing aids, you might need to take some more care. Be more careful when playing sports to make sure that they don't come out or get damaged while you're running around. And if you go swimming, you want to make sure to remember to take them out first too, just like before you get in the bath. You'll need to make sure you go for all of your hearing aid appointments. The audiologist might make a new impression of your ears and check your ears and your hearing. Because as you grow up, your whole body gets bigger, including your ears. And so you will outgrow your hearing aids and you'll need new ones, bigger ones to fit your ears, just like you need bigger shoes to fit your feet when you get older and taller and bigger. The audiologist will also make sure that your hearing aids are still working the way that they are supposed to. Wow, I learned a lot about hearing aids. I didn't know that there were different kinds of hearing aids, and I also didn't even think about how hearing aids come in different sizes and that they're all special made for each person. That's pretty cool. All right, friends, this is the end of our ASL story time. I hope you learned some fun new things. I know that I did. And before we sing our goodbye song, we want to say a special thank you to the Solon Women's Club. They are sponsoring all of the story times in the month of March. And the Solon Women's Club actually started the very first library here in Solon. Did you know that? Yeah, very cool. And we are so lucky to still have their support now that we have a public library, and they support things like this story time. They help with summer reading prizes, all kinds of really cool stuff here at the library. So thank you, Solon Women's Club. And now it's time for our goodbye song. We read a book and we played a game and we sang a song together. We read a book and we played a game. We had a fun adventure. Now go read a book and go play a game and sing a little tune. Go read a book and go play a game. We'll see you back here soon. See you next time, friends. Bye. Oh, bye.